Hello, good morning everyone. Today we're going to travel back in time, way back, thousands of years ago, to a period called the Mesolithic Stone Age. Can you say Mesolithic? Great, Mesolithic means Middle Stone Age. It came after the Paleolithic, that's the Old Stone Age, and before the Neolithic or New Stone Age. So today we're in the middle. Let's imagine, close your eyes for a moment. You're standing in Britain about 10,000 years ago. There are no cars, no houses, no schools, not even roads. Instead, you see thick forests full of trees, rivers flowing freely, wild animals like deer, wild boar and birds, and guess what? Britain isn't even an island yet. You could walk to Europe across a land called Doggerland. Open your eyes. What changed? Before the Mesolithic period, the Earth was in an ice age. Huge sheets of ice covered much of the land during the Mesolithic. Something important happened. It started to get warmer. The ice gradually melted, and forests grew, sea levels rose, and Britain slowly became an island. What do you think? Question for you. What do you think happens when the weather gets warmer and forests grow? Exactly. More plants and animals means more food, but also new challenges. How did people live? Mesolithic people were hunter-gatherers. That means they hunted animals, they gathered plants, berries and nuts, and they didn't stay in one place because they needed to move around depending on the weather. This is called being nomadic. Now, homes and shelter. Mesolithic people didn't build permanent homes like we did. Instead, they made temporary shelters from wood. Also, they stretched animal skins over the wooden frames. Sometimes they used caves. Imagine building your home, then picking it up and moving a few weeks later. Would you enjoy moving house all the time? Tools and technology. Now let's talk about tools. Mesolithic people were very clever. They made tools from stone, wood, and bone. But here's the exciting part. They invented something called microliths. That's a big word. Can you say microlith? This made hunting much more effective. Mesolithic people didn't just hunt. They became expert fishermen too. They used spears to catch fish, nets made from plant fibres so they understand how to weave things, and traps for animals. They hunted animals like deer, wild boar and birds, and they used every part of the animal: meat for food, skins for clothing, and the bones for tools. Nothing was wasted. So what was on the menu? Mesolithic people ate meat from hunted animals, fish from rivers and lakes, berries, nuts and seeds, and wild plants. No supermarkets, no takeaways. You have to find your own food every day. What would be the hardest part about that? Finding enough food, especially in winter. Remember, you don't get 2,500 calories. The next day you can't hunt and gather as efficiently. So what did they wear? Clothes were made, as we've said, from animal skins and fur. They used bone needles to sew pieces of the skins and fur together. Their clothes kept them warm and dry, but they probably look very different from what we wear today. Animals and companions. Here's something interesting. Dogs were wild and they tamed them. Dogs helped to track animals during hunts, to guard camps, and to provide what dogs provide us with today: love and companionship. So even thousands of years ago, the humans had best friends. Art and beliefs. Mesolithic people also created art. Art. They made carvings in bone or wood. They made simple decorations that they wore. In other words, very simple jewellery. We don't know everything about their belief, but they may have respected nature deeply, had spiritual ideas about animals and the land. Now we can say that because there are, in effect, people living, for example, up the Amazon today who live a Mesolithic lifestyle. The Mesolithic period is important because it shows us how humans began to adapt to a changing world. They learned new skills, created better tools, explored new ways of living, and all of this helped prepare for the next big change. What came next? After the Mesolithic era came the Neolithic period. This is when humans started farming, building permanent homes, and living in villages. So the Mesolithic era was like a bridge between two ways of life, from wandering hunter-gatherers to settled farmers. So, a final thought. Imagine living in the Mesolithic period. You had no electricity, no phones, no shops, just nature, survival, and your skills. It might seem difficult, but it was also a time of creativity, learning, and discovery. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of History Made Simply. If you did, please like and subscribe to our channel.